And then your senior year, you were deciding between going to get your dance BFA or going straight into a company.
I grew up in the competition, like, dance world.
Okay.
Long before there were things, I'm dating myself, like the dance awards. I felt so, like, excited about it, and I look back now and I'm thinking to myself, those people behind the table must have thought I was out of my mind.
So you moved here and you really never looked back?
No. The best education you can get as far as, like, acting, like
Yeah.
TV and film.
Yeah.
Get your...
How is, like, touring on Broadway? Like, what is that like? You could be dancing with someone who's, like, then behind the table when you're trying to audition.
It's so true.
So, like...
But I have lived in New York City now, doing the thing, living the dream, for 11 and a half years.
Wow. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 8 of Stop Talking Kens. I am very excited for today's guest and to get to know a little bit more about her. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Angela Palladini, and I'm originally from Southern California, but I have lived in New York City now, doing the thing, living the dream, for 11 and a half years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, what would you say is the biggest difference, like, career-wise, California versus New York?
So definitely more commercial out in Los Angeles.
Really?
Yes, I feel that a lot.
Okay.
I think that if you're, like, looking more for, like, musical theater, that's this, like, Broadway stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously the hub here in New York City.
Yeah.
What I will say, though, that I think the biggest difference aside of, like, concert dance is I feel like LA is, like, really starting to shift a little bit too, with, like, having more opportunities for concert dance than they did in the past.
Okay.
So, yeah. I mean, also, you know, there's a lot of differences just in, like, the way that things work and how auditions are run, and obviously, like, transportation comes into play.
For sure.
Out there, like, out west, you have to drive everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's that. Like,
yeah.
Here we take the subway.
Yeah.
So.
Are you a New York girl, or would you say you're a California girl?
My mom would be like, you can take the girl out of California, but you can't take the California out of the girl. I love California.
Me
I miss
too.
it. I miss it. I will say though, I feel like this is the first place I felt like at home.
Really?
Yeah, which is weird because I never would have assumed that.
Yeah.
But my dream was always to move here at some point.
Okay.
I just didn't think I would love it as much as I do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How did you get into dance, like, originally? And, like, how old were you? All of that.
I was 5 years old
Wow.
when I started dancing, and my mom did what she was like, I don't know if she's gonna like it, if she's gonna not like it.
Yeah.
So she's like, I want, we'll see what happens when
Mm-hmm.
you're wearing a bathing suit. So I'm not getting you a leotard.
So you were wearing, like a leotard, like, swimsuit? Okay,
Yes.
it's better than, like, a bikini. That's kind of what I was envisioning.
It was purple, and I'll never forget purple with, like, very NYU purple, actually, and this, like, white little, like, frill situation, and I ran out of there, like, this is all I ever want to do for forever.
Was it jazz or, like, ballet?
It was like a combo class, like a ballet, tap, acro.
Oh,
one of those where
yeah.
we,
Did it all.
Exactly, in like 45 minutes. And yeah, so I grew up in the competition, like, dance world.
Okay.
Long before there were things, I'm dating myself, like the dance awards.
Right.
Things like that. We had, like, Star Power and Starbound.
Okay.
But it was a much smaller community then.
For sure.
And so that's where that's really what got me, like, really excited about dance. And I knew, honestly, from the time I was 10, that this is, like, what I wanted to do, like, with my life.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, I left the dance competition world, like, more of the, like, commercial side, and went into a pre-professional ballet school.
At age 10?
At 13.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So commercial to ballet is
Yes.
a very big transition.
Yes. It was wild.
Yeah.
But I fell so deeply in love with ballet.
Wow.
And I was getting wonderful training for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for that. And to this day, like, everyone that was in the company, the pre-professional company with me, which I'm sure you can relate to, I'm still, like, best friends with them. Like, they're my family.
Yeah.
Like, even decades later. And that being said, though, we were not actually allowed to take class anywhere
Oh,
else.
so within the pre-professional company, that was it? Those were the only dance classes you could take?
Correct.
Wow.
And that included conditioning, so Pilates.
You couldn't take Pilates?
Anywhere else. We could only take it at...
Oh my gosh.
It was
That's crazy.
And I was not, like, I was like, I'm not doing that. So I still went and went to classes, like, outside.
That'd be me too. I'd be like, I must do my Sunday morning Pilates. Like, there's nothing you can do about it.
Too. Like,
yeah.
Let's have some fresh air.
Yeah.
So that's what I ended up doing, and my dream dance company was, I don't know if you're familiar with Hubbard Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So after high school, I vacillated back and forth with going to school for college to get my BFA. But I really wanted, again, looking back, I'm like, I don't know what was in me, but I'm like, I think I want to try just get into a company, because that's so
Why not?
easy. So not easy.
So, did you go to in-person high school with?
I did.
So you went to in-person high school and your pre-professional company,
Correct.
all in California.
Correct.
And then your senior year, you were deciding between going to get your dance BFA or going straight into a company.
Correct.
And you chose auditioning for companies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I moved to Chicago.
Oh wow.
Quite the trip.
My sisters are there right now.
Are they really? Oh my God, wait, that's amazing.
They're doing a photo shoot, but yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. Hope it's not too cold there.
I don't know.
It's like, it is windy. But yeah, so I moved out there and I got into the scholarship program at school that at the time fed into Hubbard Street.
Okay.
So I did that for a year, kind of gave myself this gap year
Yeah.
to see like if there was any interest or pull,
Mhm.
and I ended up getting to work with the second company.
Oh,
for a
that's
little
very
bit,
cool.
Which was
Yeah.
great. And then things like shifted and changed around, and so I left and I worked with a couple of other companies there, and then moved to Portland, Oregon for
Wow.
like a year and a half.
World traveler over here.
I know, I'm like, looking back, I don't even know how I did it. But yeah, so I moved out to Portland, I danced out there, and that, like, long story long, bringing me to New York, I was missing, like, acting, and I was missing dancing outside of, like, just concert
Yeah.
dance. I
Yeah.
really was. Like,
Yeah.
I was, like, something inside my heart was just not totally happy.
Fulfilled.
Exactly.
No, I literally get the feeling. Like,
Okay,
going from a
yeah.
commercial studio to now coming here, I love everything about it. I love the program. It's amazing. But there's, like, something about, like, that, like, commercial element
Yes.
that, like, you miss.
Yes.
And it's, like, it just, like, runs deep. Like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Like, you love what you're doing, and everything about NYU Tish is amazing. But, like, there's, like, I need to go take a jazz class. Like, and I feel like New York is great for that because, like, I can just, like, on a Monday night go take a jazz class and I feel fulfilled. So it's, like, it all works out. But, like, you do miss it. And there's, like, nothing you can do about it.
No. And if you don't know unless you know.
No, I know.
Like, I know you get it.
Yeah. It's just, like, once it's, like, I feel like it's something that's, like, once you don't have it, you don't realize how much you needed it to begin with. It's, like, don't take anything for granted, really.
1,000%, yes.
Yeah.
No, I resonate with that so deeply.
Yeah.
So I very much on a whim was like, I'm going to just go out to New York City and audition for the national tour of West Side Story.
Oh, wow.
Because that's
Were you still living in Portland at this time?
I was still living in Portland.
Okay.
So I made like quite a very like
Trek.
quick decision. And I came out here, and with like musical theater, like Broadway auditions, you have to like if you're a dancer first, which that's definitely me.
Yeah.
You go in and you learn like a combo,
Okay.
and then they'll typically do like a cut.
Mhm.
And then sometimes it really depends on like what they're looking for and if it's immediate or not. Then they'll bring you back again in the room like later that day to learn more choreography.
Okay.
And then there's a cut. And then if they're still interested, then they'll ask you to stay and sing.
Oh, that'd be my cue. That's where I'd be out.
Well, I didn't know that I needed to do that.
Oh, geez.
And I didn't have my book of music, which is like a known thing.
Oh, you're supposed to have a book of music.
I sang Happy Birthday.
That's actually iconic, though. Like, seriously.
Or really embarrassing. Maybe a bit of both. I don't know. But I was like, I felt so like excited about it, and I look back now and I'm thinking to myself that those people behind the table must have thought I was out of my mind. And I didn't hear anything. I wonder why.
It's the happy birthday that did it, maybe.
Happy birthday! Yeah. Then I waited. I was in rehearsal actually for our winter show with the company that I was dancing with.
So then after you auditioned in New York, you went back to Portland
Yes.
and just continued dancing with the company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because go where the work is.
Yeah.
And we were on a 10-minute break, and I got a phone call with the New York area code, and one of my like best friends in the company who has lived in New York was on Broadway previously. He's like, that's a New York number. That's a New York number. He's like, go to the bathroom right now. And lo and behold, I got a call back. But this was like 6 months later.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
It was so weird. So
you like totally forgot about it. I would have.
I mean, I don't think I forgot, but I definitely put it out of my brain.
Right.
And out of like my heart,
Yeah.
So I flew out here from Portland, and which is actually, that flight's like crazier long than LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's because it's like farther up north on
Okay.
the West Coast. And so I flew out here, I did the callback, and then I went back to Portland, back to my company, doing my thing, then I got another callback. So I flew back
Wow,
out
it's
here.
a lot of cuts and callbacks going on for Broadway.
Yes. And that was just the crux of it. Like, I had no idea that it was going to continue to be that way. But I finally was like, you know what? The universe is saying, like, I need to do this.
Because you, just like the going back and forth was too much.
It was too much.
Yeah.
And the other thing, too, is I was like, my heart, when I got out here and I was in those audition rooms, I was my best self. Like, I was my best Angela. And I hadn't felt that way in such a long time. So, yeah, I made the move, and here we are, 11 and a half years later.
Wow, so you moved here and you really never looked back?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you moved out here, you're auditioning for Broadway. Where has life taken you since then?
Lots of callbacks, that's for sure, and then like no job necessarily at the end of it, but I did book my first like big Broadway tour, and I was on Annie.
Wow, that's very cool.
It was amazing. I got to be the swing for all the kids, so I like covered all of the children in the show.
Yeah.
And I was also the assistant dance captain.
Wow.
Which was a really fun experience.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that part of my brain where like loves that, and I also loved like being on stage for one role and then like something happening and I have to like double track.
Yeah.
Mid-show.
Yeah.
And I'm like thrive.
Yeah.
On that adrenaline.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then I was also Veruca Salt in the Broadway tour of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
So fun.
That was my first principal role, which was really big. Like, I wanted that so bad, and it was hilarious because the role was on point. I'm like,
so
it's
you're
full
like
circle.
Your pre-professional company got you here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For sure, the training without a doubt, yeah, and everything else too,
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's led so many different directions. Like, it's brought me into TV, which is amazing because there was a show, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Amy Sherman Palladino loves working with dancers for like background and movement because dancers know how to move around like a camera.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people, I didn't really realize that until I was on set and was like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's why you would hire people who are aware, like spatially aware, but also know how to move.
Yeah.
Like, it's a partner, but it's the camera.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Right.
Like a pot of dill, but with the camera and the cameraman. Yeah, and I've worked in film too, which has been really amazing.
The ice maker is doing its
We
thing.
love the ice maker.
It's doing its thing right now. It'll be the middle of the night and I'm asleep and I just hear it go off and I'm like, so great.
Like, we're still working.
Like, thank you. But what would you say, like, because I feel like you've really gotten into every single style, like really deeply, like not just like dappled in everything, like you've really like gotten into it. Do you have like, if you had to pick one to do for the rest of your life, like do you have one that you could choose?
God, that's
so hard.
Question. I'm like, oh, well, I love tap.
Really?
Yes, I love tap. I love it so much.
For a Broadway audition, do you have to be prepared to do all styles?
That's a great question. It really depends on the show.
Okay.
And a lot of times, like, the breakdown will say, like, what they're looking for and what shoes to bring. But insider tip, bring every pair of shoes that you have.
Yeah.
Because you never know. Like, there have been times, and I've seen it happen, and it's happened to me, where you could be, like, there are a few, like, studios here in New York where, like, all the auditions happen.
Yeah.
So, several different shows are auditioning at the same place on the same day.
Yeah.
That people will, like, casting directors will be like, oh my gosh, like, Ken's like, wait, are you free after this? Can you come in for this audition? It's tap or whatever.
So it's like so many different things happening at one time.
Yeah, so, and that doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. And always to be prepared for that.
I wish I could sing. I just really can't. I really can't sing.
I bet you can.
No. I really can't sing. So I've had like a teacher like here at NYU be like, I'll see you on Broadway one day, and I'm like, no, you won't. I'm like, no, you will not, because I really can't sing.
I sincerely doubt that.
Do you think like, or is this like depending on the show, like how strong your dance ability has to be compared to your singing ability? Like, is there one that needs to be stronger than the other?
Honestly, it's always they're not gonna expect like a dancer necessarily, not that they're not capable of it, but a dancer to sing like Phantom of the Opera.
So it's like dancer first, singer second.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's the acting component as well.
Oh, got that down pat.
Yeah. See, there you go. Well, that's the
So
thing.
I'm just like, I'm lacking the singing skill from the three.
No. But that can be worked on. That's the thing, is like you're never, most of the time, like as dancers, especially in the ensemble, you're dancing so much. You're like, there's either people singing off stage as well.
Were you training in singing? Like, did you have like singing coaches like before leading up to all of your Broadway auditions?
Not very many, I will say.
So it was kind of just like spur of the moment.
I knew I needed to do it.
Right.
And so I definitely had a lot of makeup work to do, for sure. Like, for sure. And even to this day, like, it still, like, makes me, like, a little bit nervous, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that's good. Like, I feel like nerves to a certain degree are healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just consistently, like, wanting me to be a better artist.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I wasn't one of those people. Like, some of my friends, like, grew up singing.
Right.
And, you know, they were in voice lessons, like, 3 days a week, and I didn't have the time.
Me neither.
Yeah.
You're dancing all the time.
Exactly.
When can we fit singing into the schedule?
I don't know if, like, our parents would appreciate us, like, singing at 2 in the morning. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So, okay. Dancer first, singer second. And then there's acting.
Yeah.
So is acting something you also really enjoy doing?
I love acting. Like, love it. Like, love it so much. And I've grown to love it even more since being here and, like, being on set. And that's something that people told me, these, like, mentors, like, said, they're, like, the best education you can get as far as, like, acting, like, TV and film.
Yeah.
Get yourself on a set. Be it you're doing background work, you're there all day, but just experiencing what that energy is.
Yeah.
And how everything functions is so vital.
Yeah.
And I have learned so much just because of that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Right now, are you still trying to audition, like do the things, like all of that?
Yes. So this year I came close to a couple different Broadway shows. Didn't end up booking them, that's the business.
It's life.
That's life. That's the business.
Yeah.
And you know, again, it's not for the faint of heart, as you obviously well know. Growing up competing, it's
tough.
It's tough. Like, we have thick skin.
Yeah.
You have to,
or you genuinely will not survive. Like,
no way.
You will quit. And I think a lot of people do quit, like dance. Like once you get to like the teen, senior, I think like I've noticed like the people who are there at that age like really do genuinely want to be there. Yeah. And I think that's like what like is so special about it is like you grow up with all these people, and then some like slowly dwindle out, and like they find new passions, and that's like so great for them.
Totally.
But then like the people who stick like genuinely like are still my best friends, like going up in competition. But I feel like just the people you're with like surround you to work harder, and like they push you because like they want it just as bad as you do. And like dance isn't like something that's like a big production where like a bunch of people are gonna get it. It's like tough. Like you have to be the best.
Yep.
So like that just like motivates you to like work harder
Absolutely.
and like do the things.
I love that you say that because I feel that way still.
Yeah.
And even like today, one of my best friends like texted me and she's like, hey, like I need to be held accountable. Like, can we go take like a class together?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. And I love that.
Yeah.
She is a brilliant singer, by the way. So I'm like, there was one day where she like went in, she goes, I'm just going to warm up. And I was sitting outside of the studio and she started warming up and I was like, and I will not ever sound like that. So, that's okay.
That's okay. You have to know your strengths and like work with them.
Yeah, but I'm very much with you on that.
Yeah.
I think that the best piece of advice that I have been given, and also like I try and like consistently remind myself of, and also like spread it, is what's meant to be will find you.
Right.
And there have been so many times where I have been so close to like dream jobs, like big, like game changer, career changer jobs. Yeah. And not booked them, and it's happened with the same job, one of them 11 times, and there are those ones that really get you, right, like, at your like core, at your heartstrings. Yeah. But that being said, like there really is a reason for that, and everything happens for a reason. I am very much a firm believer. It's my literal life motto. Yeah, like I literally anytime like something goes out, like people will be complaining about things, I'm like, everything happens for a reason. Yes. Like I truly, truly believe that. Yes. Like full-heartedly, I believe everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And just like the pieces will fall into place in life, and just like you have to go with it, and like you have to just like allow the stars to align. Yes. And it's so hard. So hard. Oh, well, you want it so bad. And like when you can see it too. Like it's like it's like, okay, you're in the first audition with like bunch of people, that's one thing. Right. But once you're at the end and you can see it and it's in like arm's reach, like that makes it so much worse, for sure. Totally. And it, it definitely, it makes you question, like, all these different things. It's like, am I right for this? Should I be doing this still? Yeah. And I think, again, that's where it's just been a consistent thing. It's like, what is meant to be will find you and will be, and it's all going to be okay. Yeah. And also, I think, too, just knowing how to be a regular human. Being a good person. And it's so hard in this, like, finding those people in this business is, like, so, like, valuable. Oh, my gosh. It's everything. Yeah. And it really, when you do and you have them, and when you do. It's so, like life-changing and just, like, they stick. And they will. Yeah. And vice versa, because you all are bringing something so unique to the puzzle. Yeah. And I think that camaraderie is so powerful. Yeah. No, my mom's always said, like, it doesn't matter how talented you are. Like, you have to be a good person first, and, like, being kind first, because that's what's going to take you, like, in life. Just, like, messing with people and, like, trying to get ahead and just, like, doing all the things. Like, I feel like a lot of people do that in this business because it's easy to and it's easier to. But, like, longevity, like, you need to think about, like, and I feel like the connections you make are so important. Just, like, this is all about connections and, like, who you meet and, like, who you talk to and you just, like, don't know. Like, my teachers always said, like, you could be dancing with someone who's, like, then behind the table when you're trying to audition. It's so true. So, like, you have to just, like, always be kind and, like, because you don't know when, like, they could be the ones trying to book you or, like, vice versa. So just, like, yeah, it's crazy. It's happened. Like, I was behind the table at one point, too, and I'm like, this is really interesting. Yeah. Like, oh, my gosh. I'm like, that girl was mean. I'm like, just be nice. It's harder to be unkind. I really believe that than it is to be. Like, it's not that hard to be kind. Well, I don't think a lot of people think that. I think a lot of people choose the unkind route, for sure, but it's sad. But you're right about connections. Connections. Oh, my gosh, yes. I mean, honestly, so many of my success has been because of certain connections. Yeah. And that's just the nature of it. Yeah. I know it's that way, or at least I don't know firsthand, but I've heard it's that way in other industries. I can only speak to this one, but I know that it's vital. So important. Like, who you know is, like... Yeah. It honestly, like, I swear, like, you could get in a room and, like, by stepping in it and knowing the people behind it, you're automatically going to make it to at least a couple rounds in just because they know you. And that's just, like, I mean, people could say it's unfair, but it's just, like, how it goes. Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is they're familiar with you. And they know how you work. Exactly. They know how, like... Exactly. And I think that's also a good point is, like, being a workable dancer, being an employable dancer, because, like,
if you're not going to get booked again.
No way.
Yeah.
The other thing too is it's like people who are on the creative side, like the other side of the table that I know, they say this so much and it's so true. It's like, well, if we're gonna be in tech, like you are right now, tech for like 10 out of 12 hours a day, who am I gonna want to be around when I am so tired?
And you're just like, like you don't want to be there. No one wants to be there, but like you have to. You have to get it done. And like who's going to be the most enjoyable people to be around?
Exactly.
That's what's going to like go down.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's true. And I think that gets overlooked a lot.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, so you're living in New York, you're auditioning, you're taking classes, you're doing the things. What are some of your, as a new New Yorker, what are some of your favorite like things to do here?
Oh my gosh.
Because like I swear like there's stuff going on all the time. It's like the city that never sleeps is like a genuine statement.
It's so true. I'm like, what? There's no holiday. Like
I'm like, what is everyone celebrating?
What are we celebrating? And then there's like some random street fair. Like it happened outside of our building the other week, and I was like, what is this? And my boyfriend was like, it's like some festival, and I was like, okay.
Yeah,
great,
like for what?
Yeah, I don't know. Some of my favorite things to do here in New York, I know it sounds really cliche. I do love Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it so much. I love seeing it in all its different seasons, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that's really something like...
The change.
Yes.
Yeah.
In California...
Don't have.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the first time I saw snow, I thought I was, like, gonna lose my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. It's like the movies.
Yeah.
Other things I love to do here, I love finding new, like, cafes and places.
There's a lot of cute little restaurants and things here.
Yes, to read. I like getting a book.
You're a reader?
I am a reader.
My sister's a reader.
I love it.
One of my sisters is a reader. The other's like a TikToker, so there's a wide range between the twins.
That's good though. That's a great thing. No, I am a reader. I mean, again, life gets busy.
Yeah.
So it's hard to carve out that time.
Yeah.
But I love going to find like restaurants, cafes, like things like that are just places I don't know. And that's the wild thing about living in this city is you could live here for like 85.
And you'll never see everything.
No.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's really insane.
Yeah.
And I love like spending time with like people I enjoy and love and
Yeah.
But as far as like things to do, I do love the High Line when it's warm, like walking the High Line.
I think someone's like told me to run there.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I ran a half marathon with no training.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
good for you.
No, but it was crazy.
That's amazing.
But now, like on the way back, we were, me and the girl I ran it with, were talking about like training. Yeah. We probably should have talked about that before running the half marathon.
No, you still did it though. Like that's.
But we were talking about it after, and she was like, "Oh, I always run like on the High Line, and it's really
beautiful.
pretty." Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really. I highly recommend.
Okay.
It's really.
That's where I'm gonna start my running journey.
Yes.
So catch me on the High Line running.
After you've done a half marathon, though.
No, I want to do the New York Marathon like next year.
Oh my gosh.
So like I need to start training for like the 26 miles because after the 13, I was like I genuinely thought I was gonna collapse to the ground.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And it's so different than anything you do
dance-wise. Yeah. Cross training.
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself.
Exactly. Yeah. I love the High Line. I really do. I also love the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Okay.
You can go in. You can get
the
in.
Met.
The Met. Yeah. You can get in.
As a student, I think. Right. Yeah.
And as well, and your address technically is here too.
Oh.
So you can also get in for free.
Okay.
It's like donation based. It's fun just to like walk around in there, and also
Yeah.
when it's really cold outside,
It's
somewhere to go.
Like right now. It's
like
really
right
cold
now,
outside.
I'd be like, this sounds like a great time.
So I call these like this is like my rapid fire segment.
Okay.
That's what I call it every single time, but it never is that because I always keep talking like. Okay, if you had to pick one food like genre for like the rest of your life, what would it be?
Mexican.
Really?
Yes.
Like rice?
Chips, salsa, guac. Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, rice.
Yes.
What is your favorite color to wear? Like, not your favorite color to look at aesthetically. What is your favorite color to wear?
That's hard. I'm like going through my closet right now, picturing it, 'cause it's all like color coded because I'm a psycho. Probably. Recently, it's shifted, which is interesting. I'm loving yellow.
Really?
Yes, which is so strange because I always felt that it made me look like really washed out as a child. And maybe that's dependent on the time of year.
Right, it is very dependent on the time of year.
But I love yellow, and I love like a light blue.
Blue's my favorite color.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, who is your dream duet partner? Like, if you could do a duet with anyone, go back to your competition days, who would it be?
Can I bring someone up from a company?
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to do a duet with him.
Oh, really?
I would kill to do again. His name is Steven Diaz, and he is amazing. He's like incredible. Like one of the most brilliant artists I've ever seen, ever. And Brian Friedman.
Oh, I literally just took his class last week.
Did you? Yeah, no, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
He was here. Yeah.
I love him.
Yes, he's amazing.
So good. It was so hard. Thank goodness I did it before my half marathon, or I wouldn't have made it to his class because my body's like crippled right now. But
oh God, you really just ran that.
Yeah, it was on Saturday.
Oh my word.
And now I'm like,
and now you're in tech?
I'm trying. Like ballet's like 9 a.m. ballet every morning is a little bit of a struggle, but
it's a struggle even when you haven't run a half marathon.
For sure. Okay, who is your favorite music artist right now?
I love Dua Lipa.
It's classic.
Classic, and I love Florence and the Machine. You don't. Oh God, it's so good.
I don't
Google
really.
it. It's so good. Yeah, Florence and the Machine for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
What is your favorite season, like in New York? What's your favorite time to live here?
Fall, autumn.
So like what we just had?
What we just had was like really warm, but it was like I like the 60 to give me the 60, 65
so, like,
degree.
But right now it's too cold.
Right now it's too cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think right now it's too cold.
This is too cold for me.
But you went from like California to Chicago to Portland, so to New York. So wait, so were those three like places cold?
Chicago is freezing.
And then California is like obviously not, but
correct.
So like coming here wasn't that big of an adjustment for you?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, it is still because I think we all acclimate. Like our bodies acclimate to the weather. But like, I never want to see a negative 35 degree temperature.
I would move. I'd be like.
That's one of the reasons why I left Chicago.
I literally would be like, bye NYU. Like I can't do this.
So every time I remind myself when I like even like right now as I'm saying this, it's cold today here in New York. Like it's not as cold as Chicago.
That is crazy.
Like in February, it's not. I don't.
I can't wait to my sisters to FaceTime me and be like, "We're freezing." And I'm gonna be like, "Sucks." How is like touring on Broadway? Like, what is that like?
Oh man, it is wonderful. It is so inspiring, and I would say that the thing that I love the most about it is getting to perform for people who might not have like the ability to come to New York City to see a Broadway show.
Yeah.
But they're getting like that same quality like in their hometown.
Yeah.
So I love that, like, and meeting like people at the stage door after, and like getting to see like some of these like, young artists like being like, this is what I want to do, and resonating with them, and I don't know, I just love being able to share that with audiences all over. What I will say is when you get into like, depending on your schedule, sometimes you'll have like month sit downs in a city, or sometimes you'll have 2 weeks or a week, and then there are times where you have what they call split weeks. So you're like half of the week you're in one city, half the week you're in another.
Wow.
And then at times there are also what we call one-nighters, which means you're only in this place for one show, one night. So you're on a bus most of the time all day long. And like I was saying, like YouTube was like my best friend on the bus. YouTube and books, like that was my thing, and podcasts, just to pass the time.
Yeah.
And then you roll up to the hotel, you take all your stuff off the bus, get into your room, you drop your things off. Depending on if the venue, like the theater, was close enough to the hotel, you'd walk, or you'd have to get like back on the bus.
I'd be so sick of the bus.
Yeah.
Does everyone only get like one like carry-on suitcase? Like, do you have to really condense the stuff you're allowed to bring?
We have 2 full-size suitcases.
Okay.
And then your carry-on is like just the normal airplane standard. So it's like one carry-on, one personal item.
So you have like 2 big suitcases, a carry-on, a personal.
Yeah.
So do you feel like you could fit like all of your stuff in there?
Yeah, I mean, I did it for, several years at a time.
Wow.
Well, it was so funny too, because I would get like kind of like annoyed when people like Uber drivers would be like, your bag's really heavy. I was like, that's my apartment. That's like literally.
This is my life.
That's everything. That's all I have like right now. So So no, they're pretty generous about that for sure. But like if your bag's overweight, like it's up to you to pay it. Which, you know, it makes sense. But we always, like, I was one of those people that would, like, leave space in, like, my carry-on. So if we were, like, checking bags, like, as a whole company, because it's not just, like, the cast, but it's, like, the crew.
Yeah.
And then the musicians.
Yeah.
And then company management. So it's a big group of people. Yeah. So people would be like, does anyone have room? And you're like, yeah, I do. And, like, put it in there to try and, you know, just, like,
even
share
it out.
the wealth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, because those fees are pretty hefty. But no, I will say, like, we were really great. Like, we were really, like, lucky to have the situation we did with the bus because we each got our own row. So for one person, we got, like, 2 seats.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It was really nice.
You like, put your feet out and, like, lay back on the window.
And, like, you know, we made it kind of like our own little, like, apartment.
Oh, that's cute.
You know, to kind of make it feel, and you're spending so much time.
Yeah.
In those things.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, gosh.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But if you ask me, like, you know, everyone's like, oh my God, you've been to so many states. I literally know the theater, and I know
the hotel.
Where to stay, the hotel, and that's about it. So
you don't really get to experience the state at full.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think after, like, touring and being on a bus, you were really ready to, like, settle down and, like, be in a house, be, like, in one place?
Totally. Absolutely. 1,000%. I've said this, like, I'm not going to not go back on tour, but it would have to be a very specific show that I did, that I would do, just because I am older, and I've done it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have a partner, and I love New York, and I have a really great place to live.
Yeah.
That I've worked really hard for.
Yeah.
And I would like to be able to go home and sleep in my own bed.
Yeah. There's something, like, so rewarding about that.
Yeah.
Again, like, my room, like, my mom always, I have a really great room, like, in California. And my mom was like, you're in a rude awakening when you, like, go to your dorm. Like, it's going to be so much smaller. Like, you're going to have to learn how to co-live, exist with someone. Because I've just been, like, so separate. Like, I've just, like, lived in my own, basically, mini apartment. Yeah. And I've loved it. But, like, I mean, obviously the dorm's great, and I have a bed to sleep in every night. But, like, there's just, like, something just, like, different about it, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's not that you're not, like, you obviously appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it's just different.
It's just different, and just, like, getting used to. And, like, obviously being on tour is so cool and so rewarding. But, like, it feels like something you, like, experience, you take it all in, and then, like, you wait for a new opportunity, or, like, you know what I mean? Like, you now know what you are looking for. Like, do you know?
Yeah, that's very insightful. It's true. It's very true.
Like, yeah.
And also, like, if I'm on tour doing something that maybe is not making me, like, I don't know, am I going to show up my best self every day? And also my body, like, that's the other thing, too. It's like, I mean,
dance is a very...
And sitting on those buses.
Oh, yeah.
With, like, it's funny, you could always tell, like, the dancers, like, their feet were always, like, up in the air, like, on the seat. Because we were like, we have to let the blood, like, drain.
Yeah.
If we're going to be able to do this show tonight, do it 8 shows a week. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And I, you know, again, like, I think that I got, like, a taste of it again, judging, you know, dance competitions and stuff, traveling, but that's so different because it's only, like, a couple days out of the week.
Like a weekend.
Yeah, exactly. So... Yeah.
It's time for merch.
Merch!
This is
my God, it's purple like NYU!
Yeah. So this is my I have, like, this is my, like, well, this, like, my podcast in, like, season 2 because, like, of New York.
Right.
So we got, like, new colors with the hoodie for NYU colors.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much for being a guest, and you have to sign my board. It's also NYU.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that. Thank you so much.
You were such a great guest.
Thank you.
I feel like this episode was really insightful for, like, a lot of people who may want to go into the business or, like, need advice, just, like, how to get through it. Like, it's really tough. And it's, like, if you can find your place and you can stick in everything will happen for a reason.
Yes.
And I think remembering that,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for you coming.
I'm so grateful for you having me. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, and I will see you guys with a brand new episode next week. Bye!